If you're wondering why I have two microphones on, it's because the new Force Windows update really messed up the way my microphone works on my computer, so I'm testing out another system along with my regular one. Welcome, lovers! I don't know what I'm doing, but you probably already knew that. And the other day, I was dog sitting for my mother while she was at competition with her dance studio kids, and one of my dogs decided to dig a hole next to the fence, crawl into the neighbor's yard, get utterly terrified and panic when I tried to get her back into our yard again, only to panic when the neighbor's dog came out and come back over anyway. So I figured, what better time to share pet stories and weird things than now? So my parents have two dogs, Pepper and Samson. Pepper's about this big, Samson's about this big, and Pepper, which is the one I'm going to be talking about most of the time, is terrified of literally everything. And the first example of this I would like to share with you guys is when she was a very tiny, infantile little dog, she would get scared of her shadow. And a lot of the time she'd be walking around and she wouldn't notice it and it would be fine, but there's one time in particular that I can remember where she was walking along, she turned her head and saw her shadow. And at the turning of her head and seeing the shadow moving with her, she panics and tries to bite it. Like, not even like thinking, well, maybe this isn't an actual threat. No, she just tries to bite her shadow, hits her nose on the floor in the process, and then panics because now her nose hurts. So she tried to bite her shadow, and then she starts running around like nuts, running away from it, essentially. In the same vein of being afraid of everything, I have seen her run away from leaves. Like, she'll chase squirrels and birds and rabbits and things like that, but she'll be standing on like the back porch and a leaf will start moving along the little side thing because the wind's blowing, and she'll just go ape shit and panic and run and like bark, and it's insane and kind of funny and it makes no sense. Another thing that she does in the vein of being afraid but also not in that sense is she does not do well with new dogs. We have had 3 dogs come over to our house that I can remember her being there for, one of which was Giannis's dog, whose name is also Pepper and is like 4 times her size, that he had to bring over because they were doing a bug bomb at their house. Another one is a stray that I found that we had to keep at the house for a couple days because we never found its owners. And the other one is the dog that my sister adopted the last time that she was here. So Pepper, in response to meeting these new dogs, decides she wants to be the alpha dog, even though she is the tiniest and afraid of everything. So they would come in, and for the first hour, she'd be terrified, shaking, ridiculously whining, can't breathe very well, trying to hide in our laps, terrified. And then at some point during the time that they're there, she'll decide that she's in charge. And anytime they get near her, she'll, the hair will stand up and she'll snarl and growl and obviously, that whole warning thing. But, I have seen her on every occasion that we've had another dog come over intentionally walk up to the other dog and bite them. Just trying to bite, their face for no reason. She just wants to be I'm in charge, so I'm gonna bite you to let you know that I'm in charge. And, I can understand them coming near her and making her nervous and her trying to bite then, which we do discourage. We, grab onto her mouth and tell her no and spank her if she does bite. But, she'll just intentionally approach them and still bite. And I don't get it. I don't know. But, even with her doing that, she will still be, afraid of them. And, they'll approach her and just run away. She'll try to simultaneously be terrified and alpha, and it's just hilarious. The next weird thing that the dogs have done, this is something that they both do, is the downstairs bathroom in my parents' house doesn't always close all the way when you push on the door. And I don't know how the dogs figured this out, but sometimes if it doesn't close all the way, they can push on it and it'll open. They can just get in the bathroom with us. I don't know why they like to go with us into the bathroom. They just do. But anytime that they can, they will open it and come just sit next to us while we're taking a shit and just lean up against our legs or want pets or lick our legs. And it's weird. And anytime that they can't get the door open, they'll start whining and scratching at the door and being really sad until we come out or let them in. And it's just like, dog, can you leave me alone for 5 minutes? Like, not even half the time. And it's just like, all right, that's not weird at all. And then Pepper does this thing where she'll come into the bathroom and she'll jump up onto your lap while you're on the toilet. And it's like, I know that you can smell the fact that I'm either taking a shit or pissing. Like, I know you can smell it and I know you can hear it, but you're still coming in and jumping on my lap and just turn around looking at me like, hi, can I have pets and cuddles? And I'm like, I'm trying to excrete here. I don't know what you want. Another thing that Pepper does that thankfully does not have to do with the bathroom is she's a licker, like most dogs, but for some reason, her main go-to for licking is either up your nose, in your mouth, or in your ears. Like, it's her favorite places to lick. Like, most dogs are content with licking your arm or licking the side of your face, but no, every time she has to go for one of these places. And it is nasty, because I'll sit down and she'll get in my lap and just try to stick her tongue up my nose, and it's gross, and it smells, and it's weird, and ugh. And I don't know why she does it. There's probably a reason, but I don't know what it is. Another thing that she does is when she was a little puppy and was learning how to play with Samson, whenever she wouldn't know what to do or felt like she needed to go into like self-defense mode, instead of like nipping back or running away, she just kind of flopped. The worst self-defense mechanism ever. She would just decide that she's done and flop onto her back and have her stomach just open and just like look at him like, what? What do you want? And I'm like, dog, if you lived in the wild, you would be dead so long ago. Because she just puts all of her vital organs out in the open as a self-defense mechanism. I don't know. Something that she does that is pseudo-trained is my dad likes to like pull her up on his lap and go like on the side of her face, like just a bunch of kisses in a row. And from this, she has started the habit of sticking her face on your face. Like if you sit down and she comes up into your lap, she'll like stick her head up so that it's like sticking up next to your mouth, and she'll just stay like that, just like, you gonna do the thing? Until you give her kisses. And then as soon as you stop, she'll like lay her face on your mouth, like getting her hair all up in your nose and stuff, just like, I want more kisses. And it's like the cutest thing. And it's like if she comes up on your lap and she doesn't do that, and then you do the face thing, she'll get annoyed at you for stopping and just stick it back on your face again. And it's adorable and a little annoying, but it's funny. I think it's funny. Another thing that both of the dogs do is anytime that I have to dog sit overnight and I lay down to go to sleep, both of them have decided that the most comfortable place that they could possibly lay down for the night is on top of my face. Samson is usually fine. He'll lay on like the side of my face and like squish it, or like on my forehead and over my eyes. But Pepper will just go directly for covering my mouth. Like, cannot breathe laying on top of my mouth and my nose. And I have to go and like actively move them a good 10 or 12 times to get them to understand, you can't lay on my face. I can't breathe. But like that's like their first go-to anytime you go to sleep. And once you do finally get them to like not lay on your head, they'll like squish up against your arm or like lay between your legs or on your back, and they just don't know how to lay in a way that's comfortable. It's annoying and silly and cute and weird. Something that Samson does that's really weird is, I don't know if this is something a lot of dogs do, if it's normal or not, but when he goes to eat, he'll like, this will be his bowl, and he'll just like do this with his nose like a dozen times, just in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out, and grab and put it on the floor and smell it and then eat it. And then he'll do it again. Like every time he eats, without fail, anytime he takes a new bite, he does this weird little, I don't even know what it is, but it looks hilarious and I don't know where it came from. Another thing that both of the dogs do is they sit like people. And I don't know where they got this habit, because no one in our household sits like this, but they'll sit like slouched with their legs like over here and one paw right here, one paw right here, just like sitting like people. And I'm just like, What are you doing? Where did you even see this? How is that comfortable? Especially for Samson, because he's old and has a back problem. And it just looks so uncomfortable and absolutely hilarious. And the last thing that I'd like to talk about is actually something that the hedgehog I used to have did. Yes, I used to have a hedgehog very briefly. She was already 2 when I got her, and hedgehogs have a very short lifespan, so I didn't have her for that long. But it was amazing when I did have her. But, like, she was not very sociable when it came to other hedgehogs. And I didn't know anyone else who had hedgehogs. But I found this out because when I would give her a bath, I would wash her in my little sink in the bathroom. And I'd take her out and dry her off with a little towel, and then she'd look over at the mirror, and immediately all of her spines would stick up and she would hiss. Just at her reflection every time. Like, she'd hiss at it, and then she'd go up and she'd sniff it, and then she'd go just like hissing at it repetitively until we moved her away from the mirror. And I just think it's so funny because it's like, it's you! Jennison, it's you! And like, she'd see it hissing back and then she'd hiss more, and it was just the funniest little thing. So that's all of the pet stories, weird things my pets do type of stuff I have to tell you today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, but if you didn't, that is perfectly understandable and perfectly okay, but hopefully I'll see you in the next video anyway. But until then, I hope your day is just as lovely as you are. So, bye. How do trees get on the internet? Do you know? They log on.